engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Racers' blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening with the Dirt Warrior Racing League as the Wednesday night street fights head to the beautiful Lernerville Speedway. Each and every driver will look to try and put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening, as right now it is the calm before the storm as things are about to get a little bit crazy here on this fine Wednesday night. As practice coming to a close, our random pill draw being done, and for these drivers, they will get set up for their first heat race of the day as things are about to get underway. It's starting on the pole here for heat race number 1. It will be the 7 ride of Mr. Jeremy Akins. To his outside in the TNT Racing number 11, it is Jaden Glenn. Starting in position number 3, it's the coach, the 18 machine. It is Mr. Kyle Surratt. To his outside will be the 101 machine of Jacob Sexton. Back in 5th will be Tyler Ryman, his 47 ride. Jason Calhoun will start in 6th with Kyle Moyer, Jeremy Sexton, and Stephen Burrow back in position number 9 here on the racetrack. So all these drivers will be looking and hoping to try to put themselves up and into the top 2 positions, as I do believe, again, it is the top 2 drivers that will advance into our A main feature event. So looking for the top 2 to punch their ticket. Everybody else will go to our consolation races if it is needed. There is only 25 drivers now. They have made a rule change. Only the 25 drivers in the best in the field here this evening will move forward and go to our A-main feature event. So if we have 30 cars here again tonight, we will still go to the consolation races. 5 drivers will be eliminated. If we have 35 drivers loaded into the sim looking for the win, that means that we are going to have 10 drivers, unfortunately, load up their rides and join the fans in the stands here this evening. As Jeremy Akins does miss the start of this first heat race of the day, looks like he will end up having to start down pit side. That's a tough spot to be for a driver that would have been on the pole position here this evening, but now stuck down pit road. Unfortunately, not the spot you want to be out there on the speedways. Here we go, getting ready to set them loose. As Mr. Laboon Jordan coming in with the like on the stream. Dirt Warrior Racing League as well coming in with that share here on the broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As here we go, getting ready to set these drivers loose as our first heat race of the night is about to get underway. As Kyle Surratt, the coach, in the pole position, will see that green flag fly. So quickly, Kyle Surratt onto the loud pedal. Jaden Glenn back there in tow in position number 2, trying to hold on to that second position. He wants the battle for the race lead, but right now trying to hold off Jacob Sexton in that 101 ride. Tyler Ryan, Kyle Moyer, a lot of fast cats right here trying to work their way up towards the front of the field. Jeremy Sexton, another one of those being deeper in the pack here for Jeremy. He's got to make up a lot of ground here. He's got to hope that he can make some quick passes and jump up here into the battle for that second spot here, or the race lead later in this heat race. Is down across the line. They will complete lap number 2. We do see Jeremy Akins out onto the racetrack here. Now for Akins, unfortunately, had to start down on pit lane, and for the 7 ride, who was scheduled to start in the pole position, missing the start of this race, having to start down on pit road. He is almost an entire lap down as our race leaders right here behind him. As Kyle Surratt continues to lead the way, it's Jacob Sexton there in second, and Jaden Glenn rolls in position number 3 now. So now here comes a big slide job out of the 101 ride of Jacob Sexton. Sexton goes for the slider, now has that outside groove here on Kyle Surratt. The coach will pay one back down here. He goes up, slides in front of the 101 ride. Looks like he's going to leave the outside lane there for him in the 18 of Kyle Surratt. The coach and see if he can pull the trigger here on corner exit. It looks like he'll leave that lane on the high side once again. So for the 101 ride of Jacob Sexton, he takes over the race lead. Kyle Surratt falls back to second. Jaden Glenn right there in third. As you see Kyle Moyer, Tyler Ryan battling here. You also throw in that 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, as there's a slider right there from Kyle Surratt. Surratt and Sexton still battling door to door. Here comes another big slider from the 101 machine. He'll jump up in front of Kyle Surratt. Surratt's got nowhere to go, and he'll end up off the banking. So Surratt goes over the banking. He'll go from battling for the race lead to now all of a sudden being back in that 7th position. Looks like he will tow that car down pit road, and that will end his opportunity to win this heat race here this evening. For Jacob Sexton, though, he is out in front. He is feeling fine and divine as they send it down through corner number 3 and 4. Back down across the line. It is 2 laps left to go. 2 laps left to duke it out here in heat race number 1, as Jacob Sexton and Jaden Glenn 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Kyle Moyer about a car length back there in third. Tyler Ryan trying to hold on to the 4th position as Jeremy Sexton still working down to his inside. Unfortunately for Jeremy, that beautiful orange and yellow paint scheme here car this evening looking beautiful out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, there's not enough time or enough room for him to get towards. Our top 2 is down through 3 and out of 4. Our first heat race win will go to the Sexton Paint and Body Tommy Gun Customs number 101 ride of Jacob Sexton. The TNT Racing number 11 of Jaden Glenn will come home in that second and final transfer spot, moving Moyer, Ryan, Sexton, Burrow, Calhoun, Akins, and Surratt all to our consolation races here this evening, as only the top 2 drivers will punch their ticket into the A main feature event. Everybody else will have to get ready for the consis here this evening, so we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here as heat race number 2 about to load into the sim. As it's going to be the 42 ride, the Witch Doctor Racing Machine. It's Nathan Trepo. Trepo will start in the pole position to his outside in the 021. It is Shane Matthews who will start in position number 2. Starting back in position number 3 in the 71 ride, that will be Mr. William Hargreaves in his DWR Grumpy Graphics, the beautiful Dirt Panda machine, the Lives Liquor number 71 ride will start there in position number 3. To his outside, the 144, that is Jordan LaFon. Mr. Laboon will start there in that 4th position as the young gun, the number 16 JR. That is our 5th place starter here this evening. That is Dustin Hannigan. Hanny will start there in 5th. To his outside, the 47 machine, the beautiful Doghouse Racing ride of Marcos Pace will start there in 6th. And then we see Jim Rivas in his DWR iRacing iFlag JRE machine, the 57 ride of Jim Rivas will start back there in 7th. To his outside, our race 1 winner here on the season, it was that 2 machine of Ty Ralph. Ty able to win our first race of the season in that TNT Racing ride. Unfortunately missed last week. He's back here this week, and for the 2 ride, we'll start there in 8th, and it's Evan Monaghan who will start at the back of the pack. What's good, Jeremy, son? What's good, Jeremy? Jeremy says, new phone, who's this? Oh, Jeremy, how are you, brother? Good to see you in the chat. How are you, mister? As here we go, back to Green Flag Racing as heat race number 2 gets underway. Nathan Trepo looking to try to hang on to the race lead as the Sunrise Racing Machine will look to try to hold on and keep that 71 rider William Hargreaves back there at bay. Hargreaves, though, down low, looking for the early race lead as Hannigan looking for position number 2 here. He's quickly up and into that 3rd position. LaFon slides back to 4th as Jim Ravis and Evan Monaghan duking it out here for that 5th position, as it looked like Marcos Pace and Ty Ralph, 2 drivers that looked bound to be having good runs here this evening, both end up down pit side. Let's take a look back and see what happens here on the initial start. So the 2 ride right in behind the 47. Let's take a look and see what happens as they send it down into corner number 1 right here, and there's contact. Looks like the 21 ride of Matthews. I'm not sure if Matthews gets a piece of the wall or what may have happened here. And he gets a little help from the 144 as it looks like LaFon just gets a really good restart, really good jump here. And LaFon's going to get to the inside of that 5 ride, and all of a sudden, they just get tied together, run out of room here. They make contact. Marcos Pace runs in there, so does the 2 ride of Tyrell. They both end up over the banking here into corner number 1, and both drivers take their cars down pit road. And now we do see a caution flag flying, though, as again, looks like Jordan LaFon going to run into some issues. The 144 ride, hoping for a good run, a solid drive here this evening. Take a look and see what happens. Running right here in about the 4th position, and he just goes up and off the banking. Unfortunately, sends the car down into the corner 3 wall, and that's a big hit there for Jordan LaFon. But the banking will play a major factor in this evening all night long, man. It's going to be a hassle for these drivers. And right here, see him with that right front damage already from the earlier contact. Unfortunately, car just pushes up over that banking. Once it kind of gets up on 2 wheels, it's all over from that point. You're just trying to hang on, and unfortunately, can't get this thing checked up in time. He's flying through the air. He's sliding through the grass. Hard contact into one of those concrete barriers, and unfortunately for the 144, Jordan LaFon, this will probably put him down pit side for the rest of the heat race. As Caleb Ramsey says, I think he went blind. A couple of them may have went blind there, that's for certain. Is Tina Sexton? How are you, Tina? Tina coming in with that heart reaction. Mr. Ramsey coming in with that like on the stream as well. As here we go, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. As William Hargreaves with the race lead, will see that green flag flag. It's a great launch and a quick jump back out in front, as he's hoping that he can hold off all these hard chargers back there behind him, as Dustin Hannigan jumps up into position number 2. So Hanny now into that final transfer spot out there on the racetrack here in our second heat race of the day. The Witch Doctor, Nathan Trepo, slides back into third. Jim Rivas there in position number 4 here as Jim's looking to try to work his way up and towards the front of the field as Caleb Ramsey says those lights are bright. Those lights are definitely bright. That is for certain. There's some very, very bright lights out there on the racetrack as Jim rolls there in 4th. He's hoping that he can try to make up some ground here as you do see Shane Matthews back there in position number 6, the 47 ride of Marco's pace. Unfortunately for Marcos is a couple laps down here, but looking just to have some good run, try to get that extra little bit of practice here on the evening, making sure that his car is ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here for this feature event. It's out in front. Hargreaves looking to hold on to the race lead, but here comes Dustin Hannigan. Hanny goes for the big slide jump down through 3 and 4. Crossover down across the line. Looks like Hannigan was able to lead that lap, but Hargreaves back down low through corner number 1 and 2. He'll slide back up in front of the 16, but here comes another big run for Dustin Hannigan. Hannigan sends it in deep again, goes for that slide jump, clears the 71. Is there door to door once again down across the line. So the 16 ride out in front, but Hargreaves trying to keep himself right in this battle, but down the back straightaway, unfortunately, just down that bottom groove right here, he couldn't quite make the move, but now he goes for it. Slide jump just barely clears that 16 of Dustin Hannigan. White flag has been displayed. The final lap here is Hannigan goes for the slider down through 1 and 2. Here it comes. Big run for Hargreaves down into corner number 3. Nice and easy down and out of 4, and it's Will Hargreaves who will steal heat race win number 2 this evening. Dustin Hannigan will come home in position number 2 as the Witch Doctor Nathan Trepo will be the first driver to head to our consolation race here out of our second heat race. Only the top 2 will transfer through here this evening. Is Mama Bear, how are you, Mama Bear? And Mama Bear coming in, showing the love with the heart reaction, says, come on, Jordan LaFon, and says, come on, Jim Rivas here this evening as well. Is Mama Bear with that heart reaction on my boy, Justin Motherfluffing Johnson. What's good, JJ? Justin coming in, setting it off here with the heart reaction as well. How are you, brother? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. As Jordan says, Mama Bear, we suck already. Off the lip. Yeah, that's a tough break right there. Off the lip there in heat race number 2 as we'll get them ready to rock and roll here for heat race number 3. So starting on the pole here in our third heat race of the day, it is the DWR 304 Roots number 49 ride of Jackie Whaley to his outside in that 4X ride. That is Ryan Howard. Starting back in position number 3 in the 20 ride, that is Philip Sexton to his outside in the 86. It is Brian Wells. Starting in position number 5 in the 357. That's another one of those big Tim race wraps. The Doghouse Racing Machine, the 357 of Derek Rice, will start there in 5th. To his outside in the 20 ride. Beautiful looking DWR machine. The beautiful looking machine out there on the racetrack, man. This car is looking fresh here this evening. That is Chad Puderbo. Puderbo will start there in 6th. Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, last week's winner, will start here in 7th in his DWR ride into his outside. In the Sexton Paint and Body number 17, the 117, it's Steven Stokes back there in 8th. As here we go, back to green flag racing as heat race number 3 is underway. As Jeremy Vaughn says, let's go. Dustin Hannigan cheered on Hanny here this evening as Jackie Whaley with a great launch, quickly taking over the race lead, now looking to try to keep the rest of these drivers back there at bay as Philip Sexton jumps up into position number 2. Unfortunately for Ryan Howard, I'm not sure what it looks like down and across the banking here. We'll see if he had any help here in that 4X as Ryan Howard goes for a ride here himself down the banking. Let's take another look at it. Let's see if there's a little contact or if he just gets in there. Yep, just gets in there too far. Almost exactly what we saw with Jordan LaFon in that last heat race. And unfortunately for the 4X ride, just dips that right front down over the banking and it just kind of pulls that car right down and off of the racing surface. Luckily enough, able to avoid any major contact. He'll keep himself in the battle, but he needs a caution flag to try to get himself back to the rear of the field. And the laps are clicking down in a quick hurry as the first 3 laps are now done, and it's Jackie Whaley who continues to lead the way. Is now here we go. Brian Wells, teammates here. The Conky Floyd Consulting rides door to door for position position number 2, as Wells looking to punch his ticket straight on through into our A main feature event. He's trying to find a way around Philip Sexton. Philip right now is got to be feeling a little bit of that pressure because that 86 ride is less than an inch away from his back bumper, just breathing down his neck, looking for that second spot on the racetrack. And they are starting to feel a little bit of pressure themselves as here comes T-Jack. Tyler Jackson, the Hollywood Shark ride, works his way now into position number 4. He'll continue to look for more here as just over halfway through this third heat race of the day. As 6 laps down, 4 laps left to go, and it's all Jackie Whaley as Whaley continues to lead the way. Philip Sexton hanging on to second here with Wells right there with him. Wells just getting that right rear up and on top of the banking right there. Sometimes that can be dangerous as well. It kind of hooks in, could train you out, put you into that corner 4 wall, so you got to be very, very careful of that as here comes T-Jack. He's looking for something down low, trying to find another lane to get around these guys, but right now it seems like that high side fairly dominant out there on the racetrack. Looks like the high side's carrying the most speed, the most momentum, and you can really just find a good groove up there on that outside lane. It's Jackie Whaley continuing to lead the way down into corner number 3, nice and easy. So Whaley run a little bit more of that middle groove here, wanted to play a little bit safer, but he's still finding a ton of speed here in that 49 ride as the white flag has been displayed. And for Jackie Whaley, he knows he's only got half a lap left to go here to try to win this heat race. Now there's contact back there behind him. Tyler Jackson, Philip Sexton come together as Brian Wells jumps up into second, but it's all Jackie Whaley as Whaley in the 304 routes. Number 49 ride will pick up our third heat race win of the day. Brian Wells in second, will transfer through to the A main. Jackson, Rice, Puterbo, Stokes, Sexton, and Howard will all go to our consolation races here this evening if we need them. I'm not sure, that may have been our final heat race, and it looks like it is. So all of these drivers, every one of these guys that were out there on the racetrack that tried to make their way in through the heat races, they will all transfer through automatically into our A main feature event. So if you showed up, you got an opportunity to show out here this evening, as all these drivers will get ready for a quick warm-up session. They'll get ready to lay down some laps, hope to lay down a couple good opportunities here, a couple good laps. As Vicky Schiller, Mama Schiller in the chat. Mama Schiller says, let's go, Chad. Cheering on Chad Puterbo here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us know in the comment section right now who you're cheering for, who you want to see up and into victory lane, or just who you think will get it done here at Lernerville Speedway. As anything is possible here at this racetrack, really, there's a lot that can happen. One simple mistake, one moment of just lacking judgment out there on the racetrack. You dip that front right tire over the banking, even that right rear tire, it goes up and over the banking here at Lernerville Speedway. You can go around, you can go down the banking, you're going to be sent off the racetrack like we saw with the 4X ride of Ryan Howard or the 144 of Jordan LaFawn, and your night can be over in a quick hurry. So you just got to make sure you keep your car on the racetrack. Keep yourself in contention in the battle. Hope to be there towards the end. And this could be a race where we see, multiple caution flags. We could see no caution flags. With the talent level that we got out there on the racetrack, the amount of these drivers that can easily run 65 laps without an issue, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because there's a lot of fast cats that are going to be deeper in the pack. They're going to be looking to try to work their way towards the front. When you look through the field and you look at drivers like Kyle Surratt, who's going to be starting deep in this pack. You look back there at Jordan LaFawn. Some of these drivers that have shown a ton of speed, even Philip Sexton in his 20 ride, the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. There's so many that are going to be starting outside, our top 10, our top 15 even, and closer back to the bottom 20 drivers of this field. So they're going to really have to try to make some interesting moves to try to work their way up here towards the front and put themselves into a position to try and win this race. As a quick warm-up session as Jeremy Vaughn Racing. Jeremy coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. Mr. Hargreaves as well coming in, showing the love with that thumbs up here on the broadcast as well. Dropping the like here on the stream as well. I appreciate that, brother. As drivers will get ready to roll out onto the racetrack, they'll get ready to make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect and ready to roll here for this A main feature event, as we'll be right back in just a couple more moments, and we'll be into our A main feature event here in just a couple more more seconds. So don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss any of the craziness that's about to unfold.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real.
Woo! Oh!
This is raw real.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our A main feature event is about to get underway. 65 laps of racing action here from Lernerville Speedway, and we get the drivers rolling out onto the racetrack, ready to rock and roll here for our A main feature event. It's Jacob Sexton will start in the pole position. Will Hargreaves will start there in second. Jackie Whaley back in third, with Jaden Glenn starting there in fourth. Dustin Hennigan will start in fifth, with Brian Wells to his outside there in sixth. Kyle Moyer back in seventh. Nathan Trepo rounding out our top eight. Tyler Jackson and Tyler Ryan will bring up row number 5 out there on the racetrack, with Jim Rivas, Derek Rice, Jeremy Sexton back there in 13th. You'll have the number 13 to his outside in that 14th position. Stephen Barreau and Chad Puterbo round out row number 8, with Jason Calhoun, Marcos Pace, Philip Sexton, Jeremy Aiken, Jordan LaFawn, Ryan Howard, Ty Ralph, Shane Matthews, Steven Stokes, and Kyle Surratt bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Lernerville Speedway as Jacob Sexton out in front quickly has that race lead, and down and out of corner number 4 he'll lead lap number 1 here this evening. Jackie Whaley right back down to that middle groove here, trying to find his lane, trying to find that groove that he was in during that third heat race, and hoping that he can use it to make the pass around the 71 of Will Hargreaves here for position number 2 on the speedway. They got Dustin Hennigan right there on their back bumper as Henny looking down low. He's trying to work that inside lane, trying to get something rolling down low, trying to get something happening, something to work here for him on that bottom side, but now we'll jump up in front of Jaden Glenn and use the high side now to his advantage as you can see them 3-4 wide as you do take a look back there. In the 8th position, the 8 ride, it is that Hollywood Shark Machine of Tyler Jackson. D-Jack working the inside groove, trying to find his groove, trying to find his way up towards the front. Now D-Jack, we've seen this time and time again when it comes to these smaller tracks or pretty much any of these racetracks that we go to. He tends to get down to the inside lane, tends to just keep on rolling that inside groove, trying to save a little bit of tire for later in the run, a little later in the race. You may see this 8 line really start to come to life or see that bottom lane start to prove more dividends and start working a little bit better than that outside lane. As all these drivers continue to roll that outside groove, it's getting it slicker and slicker and slicker, in which case it's getting more and more treacherous. And talking about treacherous, there goes William Hargreaves. Hargreaves up and off the banking. Luckily enough, he's able to keep his foot in the throttle, but he does slide back into about the 9th position as Will Hargreaves right there. We were talking about how this track gets very, very slick, especially towards that outside groove. That one simple mistake down 1 inch too far could cost you a good run and throw it right out the window in a quick hurry. And for our second place driver out there on the speedway, Will Hargreaves will now slide back into that 9th position. He'll have to try to battle back up towards the front of the field. Is out in front. It is still that 101 ride of Jacob Sexton. As Sexton continues to lead the way, the Tommy Gun Customs, Sexton Paint and Body, Cocky Floyd Consulting 101 machine continues to roll at the front of the pack as the 304 Roots DWR ride. That is the 49 at Jackie Whaley right there in tow. Dustin Hennigan back there in position number 3 is the HNL ride trying to work his way towards the front, or the TNL ride. The Team No Love machine works there in position number 3. Jaden Glenn and his TNT Racing ride rolls there in 4th, and then we see Kyle Moyer back in position number 5 in his, I do believe, the Milner Media Designs Bulletproof Motorsports ride back here a little deeper in the field. Now sitting back in position number 5 here on the racetrack. So front 5 positions, all different teammates out there, all different kind of groups, as Jacob Sexton with the Cocky Floyd boys, Mr. Whaley, he's with the DWR crew. You see that 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan with the Team No Love group back there in position number 3. Jaden Glenn with TNT Racing there in 4th. And Kyle Moyer with the Bulletproof Motorsports group. He's back here in position number 5. Brian Wells there in 6th with Tyler Jackson back in 7th. Will Hargreaves there at 8th. And then we see Nathan Trepo and his Sunrise Racing ride there in position number 9. Great run going so far here for Nathan Trepo, as he's got Tyler Ryan right there with him. Jim Rivas there in 11th. Back in 12th, it's Jeremy Sexton. Sexton rolling there in that 12th position. We saw him start at the back of the pack in his heat race. Unfortunately, just could not find any ground, could not really make any major passes, and right now it looks like maybe more of the same for that 2020 ride. It's not a whole lot of opportunities presenting themselves to it, as now you do see some contact between the 42 and the 47. Trepo gets up the track and into the 47 ride of Tyler Ryan, and unfortunately here, as Trepo down low, he'll slide up the racetrack, and right here, slides up, doesn't quite clear the 47. That's going to shove Tyler Ryan up and into the outside fence. Pretty good hit right there for that 47 machine. Luckily enough, he's able to get it rolling. You see Chad Puderbo sliding in there. He's trying to stay out of it, does get a little bit of contact. You see Marco's Pace right there as well, as they're all trying to dodge that 47 ride, and unfortunately, As of right now, for the 47 ride, scored back in about the 23rd position. That is not a fun spot to be. Steven Stokes back there in position number 24. Jeremy Akins back in position number 25 here. Looks like Akins has taken his car off the racetrack again here. So for the 7 ride, looks like he does 11 laps and calls it a night here in that 7 ride. And for Kyle Surratt, after leading the start of his heat race there in heat race number 2, a little bit of contact, and then we saw him go up and off the banking for the 18 ride of Kyle Surratt. Unfortunately, he did not start this feature event. For Kyle Surratt, he is unfortunately out of this one. He was the 26 and the 1 driver that looked to take the bullet here and take the no start here in this feature event. So Kyle Surratt not out there on the racetrack. As out in front, it's still Jacob Sexton, as Jacob continues to lead the way here in this one, as Taylor Pratt says, hell yeah, and Jacob is ripping. Bring home that dub, young buck. Cheering on the young buck out there. Jacob Sexton, he's looking to get it done, but he's got another young gun right there with him. That 16 rider, Dustin Hannigan. Hannigan trying to figure out a way to get around one of the older guys out there on the racetrack. That 49 rider, Jackie Whaley. Whaley, one of those middle-aged guys out there that's just out here for some fun, out here for some bragging rights. But for the 49 ride, he seems to be hooked up here this evening. He really had that middle groove figured out, was running it really, really well there in his heat race. We'll have to wait and see if he can find that lane again, if he can find that groove and maybe work his way into a big dump here this evening. As 21 laps complete, it'll be 22 laps done this time by the start finish line. So 22 laps are now completed here on the evening, as Jacob Sexton has led them all. Hannigan now works his way up and into second here, as Jackie Whaley back in third. Jaden Glenn there in fourth, with Kyle Moyer still rounding out our top 5. Brian Wells back there in 6th. Tyler Jackson in 7th. William Hargrave trying to work his way back into the battle here in that 8th position. Jim Rivas up and into 9th, with Jeremy Sexton there in 10th. Evan Monaghan back in the 11th spot, as Nathan Tripo slides back now into about the 12th position. He's got that 47 ride. Marco's Pace looking to try to get around him here. Marco's one of the drivers, had to start towards the back of the pack here. He'll be looking to continue to navigate his way up towards the front of the field. Same with that 20 ride of Philip Sexton, as Philip will look to work his way up there towards the front of the pack. Chad Buterbo right there as well, rounding our top 15, with Jordan LaFawn back there in that 16th position. So LaFawn slowly but surely trying to work his way inside the top 15 with the pass here on Chad Puterbo. Will put him into that 15th position. Unfortunately, they're all running out of time in a quick hurry. It's down across the line. 26 laps completed here this evening. 39 more laps left to go out there on the speedway. As Sexton, Hannigan, Whaley continue to lead the way. We take a look back behind Jordan LaFawn and Chad Puterbo. You take a look back at the TNT Racing number 45 ride. That is Stephen Barreau there in position number 17th. And then we see Jason Calhoun there in 18th. And then you see Ryan Howard, Derek Rice rounding at the top 20 there in his Sexton Payton body. Doghouse Chassis number 57 ride is 357 ride. Shane Matthews in the 5 machine looks like he may potentially go a lap down here in a quick hurry. I already see Tyler Ryan. He's right in front of our race leaders. Same with the 117 of Steven Stokes. Steven Stokes right there as well. Now a little bit of contact. Tyler Ryan just trying to keep this thing pointed the right direction. Hannigan looking to try to get around him here, hoping that they could use that 117 as a bit of a pick here to try to work his way around the 101 of Mr. Jacob Sexton. Unfortunately for Jacob, it works out perfectly for him. Unfortunately for Dustin Hannigan, Hannigan kind of got blocked in behind that 47 ride. If he didn't, I think he would have had a shot. I think he would have had an opportunity there to potentially take that race lead away from Jacob Sexton. They are both held down the back straightaway in behind some of the lap traffic. And for Henny, it just did not work out into his favor. Now here we go. We see the 49 rider, Jackie Whaley. He's worked his way around Steven Stokes. And it looks like for Steven Stokes, he goes up and off the racing surface. And it looks like he'll take that car right down and out of this race. Let's take a look here and see what happens to that 117. Obviously, ill handling, falling back, and for the Sexton Paint Body ride, the Cocky Floyd Consulting Machine down and into Core number 3 just blows it over the banking, slides up into the inside or outside fence, and pretty heavy right front contact, and unfortunately he will go to the infield here and off of the racing surface. Heartbreaker there for him. Is out in front, Jacob Sexton. Continue to try to hold on to the race lead, but look out, here comes the 16 on the outside, and it's Dustin Hennigan who will take over the race lead midway through this race. Dustin Hennigan jumps out in front and now sits in that top position. He is going to look to try to run away with this one. Some more lap traffic right there in front of him is Shane Matthews, the next driver to potentially go a lap down. Is Jackie Whaley. Now is a bit of a gap between himself and our race leaders here as he sits back in third. He's also trying to hold on and hold off this 11 ride of Jaden Glenn, as Glenn has been working to his back bumper. Kyle Moyer right there as well, as it does look like potential issues here for the 357 ride, as it looks like issues. I don't know if he already went around, but slow down low. Looks like some pretty good right front contact here for that 357. He's going to send it up over the banking into that outside fence. He'll tow that car down pit lane as well and off of the racing surface. So for Derek Rice, looks like his night may be done as well. Tyler Ryan still rolling out there in 21st, but we had 25 drivers start this feature event. Already 4 drivers either out of this race or down pit road. We saw Tyrell also done and out of this race after 20 laps. Jeremy Akins off the racetrack after 11 laps. And for a lot of these drivers, that is not a fun place to be, man. Watching the rest of this field duke it out and battle for the race win, and you're sitting down pit side from the hauler watching these guys finish this race off. Is down across the line. Lap 38 will click off the board as Jacob Sexton rolls there in second, but for Dustin Hennigan now with about a 7/10, almost 8/10 of a second lead between himself and this 101 machine. Even more of a gap here, over a second back from Jacob Sexton to Jackie Whaley. Is Whaley still holding on to that third position, but it almost seems like he's holding up this second group out there on the racetrack. Jaden Glenn, Kyle Moyer, Brian Wells, Will Hargreaves, even the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. It seems like they have not had any luck trying to figure a way up and around these guys. They're just getting held up here, falling farther and farther behind our race leaders, and now you're starting to see drivers like Jim Rivas, the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, Marcos Pace starting to reel them in out on the speedway. Evan Monaghan, Philip Sexton, Jordan LaFawn back there in 14th. Nathan Trepo, the Witch Doctor, now running out our top 15 out there on the speedway as the laps continue to click down. Lap 41 off the board here. I do believe we only got 24 more laps left to go here this evening, so 24 more laps left to duke it out. We're going to jump into a quick PeaceMaker Gaming crank it up here from Lernerville Speedway to give you guys the sights and sounds of these amazing dirt street stocks here in the DWRL Wednesday night street fights. give it up for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session out there on the Speedway, giving us the sights and sounds here at Lernerville Speedway. As only 10 laps left to go. So 10 more laps left to duke it out. Is out in front, leading the way. It's Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan now with a massive lead and starting to put more of these drivers a lap down in between himself and the rest of the field. He's got a 3.7 second gap between himself and Jacob Sexton. Sexton starting to fall back here towards the likes of Jackie Whaley, Jaden Glenn, Kyle Moyer, and the rest of our top 10 out there on the speedways. Here comes Brian Wells down low. Here comes T-Jack trying to get something working down the inside lane as they know they're running out of time. They got to start making some big moves as here comes Will Hargreaves. Hargreaves will try that inside lane. He's looking to try to slide up in front of the 11 right on Moyer. Unfortunately, nothing there. Has to settle back down low. Looking for another big run down into corner number 1 and 2. This time looks like he may pull the trigger. Can't quite get there as Brian Wells looking to make some more moves. He's down low. He's looking to make another slide job work. He's going to pinch his way in front of Jaden Glenn. Jaden probably not going to be very happy about that one. Really had to get onto the binders, and now look out, there goes Wells over the banking. Wells up and off of the racing surface. He's down and into the grass. He's trying to keep this car rolling, trying to get it back onto the racing surface. Unfortunately for Wells, he is now falling outside the top 15, back down the banking. Looks like he will take this car off of the racetrack. Is out in front, it's Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan continues to lead the way. Dustin out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. It's down across the line. He will see 5 more laps left to go, as there is our first caution flag of the day. Our first yellow flag of the evening, as it looks like Tyler Ryan going to run into some more issues here. Let's take a look and see what happens to this 47 ride. It's down into corner number 3 and 4. He's just going to go up and off the banking again, slides up there, and as he starts to come back in onto the racetrack, he's just going to get stopped here on basically corner 4 right there. As soon as he stopped there, caution flag will be thrown. The admins get that yellow flag out, and the officials there in iRacing make the call, throw out our first caution flag of the day, and that's going to make things very, very interesting here. Is out in front, it is that number 16 of Dustin Hennigan, but as Henny had the race lead, had that almost 4-second gap between himself and Jacob Sexton, that gap is now evaporated. So for Jacob Sexton, he's got a new opportunity here, but do any of these other drivers back behind this 16 ride, back behind that 101, they got something left in the tank here? Was Jackie Whaley kind of just biding his time? What about Jaden Glenn, Will Hargreaves? Do they have anything left in the tank? We've seen Tyler Jackson kind of just sitting back there idling now in the 7th position. Does he got something left here? What about drivers that were a little farther back when you look at Jeremy Sexton, Philip Sexton, even that 47 of Marcos Pace, or the 144 of Jordan LaFawn? Do they got something left up their sleeve? Can they make some late race moves and try to work themselves a little closer to the front of the field, as this may not be our only caution flag of the day? I do believe as we go back to green flag racing, it will be a 4-lap shootout. 4 laps to duke it out here. That's plenty of time to see some more caution flags, to see some more fireworks out there on the racetrack. As here we go. Lights are off. The official iRacing pace truck. He will make that hard right-hand turn back down pit road and back into the pit stall here. As here we go. Getting ready to go back. The green flag racing is down and out of 4. Hennigan gets a great launch in the restart that he was really looking for to try to keep these drivers back there at bay. Hennigan will do everything he's got, but now you look at the 101 ride, just dips that right rear over the banking, and look out as here comes Jackie Whaley. Whaley now up and into second. Here comes Will Hargreaves. Hargreaves down low. He's looking for third over Jacob Sexton out there on the racetrack. Hargreaves looking to make that move down low, as Dustin Hennigan, though, out in front. He's been a rocket ship here this evening, and he's hoping that he can keep it that way and keep all these drivers back there at bay. Is down and out of corner number 4. It will be 2 laps left to go here from Lernerville Speedway. So 2 more laps here for Dustin Hennigan. He's got about 0.8 of a second already between himself and Jackie Whaley. Jacob Sexton able to hold on to position number 3, as Tyler Jackson, Will Hargreaves door to door here now for position number 4. Jaden Glenn there in 6th. He'll look to the outside now, the 8 ride, as the white flag has been displayed. So for the final time. Down and out at 2 and down the back straightaway. Dustin Hannigan will not be denied as he sends it into 3 and out of 4 for the final time. It's Dustin Hannigan who will win our 3rd race of the season here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League Wednesday night street fights. As Dustin Hannigan gets it done and pulls the 16 JR up and into the Lernerville Speedway victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys jump into the comment section, cheer on, congratulate this 16 ride as Hannigan picks up the dub and will get to celebrate here this evening after a big win out there on the speedway. It's Jackie Whaley who comes home in 2nd and is showing me Will Hargreaves still in 3rd away from Jacob Sexton, man. What a run there for Hannigan. What a run for Whaley and for that 71 ride, the battle back. We saw him early on running in 2nd. Went over the banking in 3 and 4. Was able to keep the car rolling, able to keep it out of trouble. Rejoin the field back to about that 9th position. Had to battle back here and just there at the end. Able to steal position number 3 away from that 101 ride. Let's take a look back and see how the 71 ride got it done as he gets a good run down the back straightaway. Sends it deep down low here into corner number 3 and 4. And it looks like he's just able to get some good pay dirt right there. Gets a good run and able to put the power down before the 101 of Jacob Sexton and beat Sexton back down across the line. As Hannigan, though, with the race win, will get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the booth here for their post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we'll get ready to pull Dustin and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here. We're just waiting for them to slide in there. We don't see them in there as of yet, so we'll wait for the fellas to slide into the top 3 and see if we can get a quick little interview here with each of them as they're waiting patiently here. Dustin probably celebrating a big win here with his friends and family, and we do see Jackie Whaley jump in there. So as we wait for potentially Dustin Hannigan. Oh, there he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the Team No Love, number 16 of Dustin Hannigan as Hannigan picks up the win here this evening. Let's get him up into the booth. Hey, Dustin, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dustin, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one as early on, you have to battle your way up through quite a few fast cats out there on the racetrack. You're blessed with a mistake out of the 71 right away. Will Hargreaves opens up the door for you to gain at least another position out there on the racetrack, but then you got to go to work for a little while. Finally figured out your way to get around Jackie Whaley as he started to dip his toes into that middle groove. You're able to blow right around the outside, and then you got to go to work here on that 101 of Jacob Sexton for multiple laps, and right around our halfway point in this feature event, you're finally able to get the outside lane on him. You put the throttle down, you roll that lip, and you're able to put yourself right into that top position, and then you kind of held on there for a little bit. Seemed like you really weren't pulling too far away, maybe just trying to save your stuff a little bit there until late in this race. In those closing laps, you start to build up over a 3-second, almost 4-second lead between yourself and Jacob, and then all of a sudden, our first caution flag of the day flies there at lap number 60. Now you got a 4-lap shootout to try to hold these guys off, and it was no sweat off your back as you're able to just put that power down out of 4, able to get back to that outside lane and just keep your foot in the throttle. You open up in that 4-lap gap, only a second lead between yourself and Jackie Whaley, and just run away with this one, man. Take us through it and what's kind of going through your mind right now as you're able to pick up a big dub here in the Wednesday night street fights.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, I think I've been overdriving. So tonight I told myself I'm gonna slow myself down and just be smooth, and got the third pretty quick, and I was just riding. Kept rolling the middle to the bottom, trying to save my tires, and I could stay right there with Jackie, and then he moved down the past Jacob, and I knew I could go. That was my chance to get around him. I went and hit the lip, and they slid each other for a few laps, and then took the lead. And I checked out, looked like, and I hated to see the caution because I was starting to run the middle just so I didn't go off the top. And with 4 to go, I knew how to move back up there and hit my mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, having to move around the racetrack, having to try to get that groove in again in that outside lane, how difficult is that? As you know, you're only inches away from, potentially ending your night or taking a win away from yourself by making a mistake and just driving it that little bit too far into the corner or getting back onto the throttle a little bit too soon out there. How do you kind of get back into that rhythm and kind of find that lane again so quickly out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, it's different. Definitely scary. I like sliding up to the top, and then you can hit the cushion. Lernerville is my favorite track because it takes away the wall riding, shows who can really run a top pretty good, and I just smooth off the gas coming off the corner and can pull ahead.
Absolutely, and you were doing that for a lot here this evening as you pull away and pull yourself right up and into the Lernerville Speedway victory lane here this evening in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Dustin, who would you like to thank for a great run, great drive, and another checkered flag here in your iRacing career?
Everybody at TNL, y'all for putting this on, you for broadcasting, and Jim and all his crew for what they do for us.
Absolutely, brother. Well, heck of a run, heck of a race here this evening, man. We can't wait to see you back in action next Wednesday. See if you can park that 16 JR right back up here and into victory lane.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Dustin Hennigan as Henny comes home in the top spot here this evening, picking up the win here at Lernerville Speedway as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place driver, the 49 ride of Jackie Whaley as Jackie comes home in position number 2. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jackie,
Jacob's
it's
hard to
Aaron
get
up here
by.
in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jackie,
You
man.
scared the hell out of me,
I'm
man.
sure I did, brother. I'm sure I did. Well, Jackie, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight, man. I'm sure you might have scared the crap out of yourself a few times here tonight, man. Making some big slide jumps, trying to make some big moves out there. And here at the end, you're finally able to find your way around Jacob Sexton. Unfortunately, it was not for the race lead like you were hoping for early on in this race, as you're able to just jump back up into position number 2, but just looked like you had nothing left in the tank there for that 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan here late in this one, man. Take us back through what's going through your mind right now after a pretty crazy race here. Obviously, 60 laps, green flag racing, only the one caution flag, and it moves you up one more spot and into position number 2.
It was a great points night for me, man. I thought the racing was really good up front. I just messed up. There was a moment at the beginning of that race when we was throwing sliders. Me and Jacob kind of got myself boxed in there, and that was the end of it. And I don't know. I just paced myself after that and was just waiting. Dustin is really, really quick, man. He's really fast. It's hard to beat him. And Jacob is too, but I thought I had a better opportunity to get around Jacob towards the end. So and that's what we did. Great night for us.
Yeah, great night for you. A lot of good points here for that 49 right after the heat race win. And obviously backing up with a solid second place finish here in the feature event, man. But that looked to be, fairly stressful there for a lot of laps. We see you guys just pounding that outside lane, inches away from disaster out there on the racetrack. And you got the 11 right at Jaden Glenn. You got Tyler Jackson, Will Hargreaves, all these fast drivers right there behind you, hoping for, maybe a mistake out of the 49 right and hoping that they could slide up into that third position out there on the speedway for so many laps.
Telling you what, man, you can't, I run a mirror, but I don't live in my mirror, because if I did, I'd have probably went off the top. We had our practice race here Monday night, and I led 41 laps, and I went off the top because I started to get in my mirror a little bit. Will was behind me, and he kind of got me nervous, and then I went off the top. But yeah, you can't live in your mirror. You just like you're out there running some laps by yourself. A lot of times, that's the way I try to look at it, and do pretty good with it if I do that.
Absolutely. Well, there's a reason why they make the windshield bigger than the rear windows, because you're supposed to be looking ahead and looking into the future. And here, after this great performance tonight, man, do you see maybe a one spot better finish here in the near future? Maybe getting this 49 right up into the victory lane?
Yeah, I believe so. I changed my number. I was 720, went to 49. That's how old I am, and that's not because of Davenport or anything like that. It's just my age, and I don't know. I told Jim last night. I feel like I think I'm on to something. I don't run as much as I do, but I figured some things out. Yeah, you never know. We may have a chance for a win in the near future.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hey, you never know when it's going to come. You never know when that opportunity may present itself. And I'm sure after a solid performance like tonight, man, riding that momentum into next week, it might be possible as Jackie Aparka here in position number 2 in that beautiful 49 ride, which it did throw me for a loop for the first few weeks. I was like, who in the is the 49 ride? Oh, yeah, it's Jackie. You ran that 720 for so long, but the
Yeah,
49
we
ride now.
retired it. Yeah,
Retired
we
it. Okay.
retired. Yeah, we're done with it. 720. I was having some really bad luck in the 720, so we just parked her.
Well, turning your luck around here and now with the 49 ride, parking it up into position number 2 here, third race into the season, man. Hell of a performance, hell of a great drive out there on the racetrack, Jackie. Who'd you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Jim first. Man, Jim does a incredible job with this league, and really appreciate all his hard work he puts into this. Like to thank all my teammates. They help us too. But thank all my teammates back at DWR, 304 Roots, iRacing, iFlags, and we got so many sponsors. I don't know. I can't remember them all. But if you sponsor us, I appreciate it, man. And we'll try to get us a win in the near future.
Absolutely, Jackie.
And I always forget. Thank you, man. You do a fantastic job for us, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that, brother. As Jackie, heck of a run, heck of a drive, brother, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Wednesday, maybe one spot better and into victory lane.
Sir, yes, sir.
Beauty, Jackie. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, man. We'll see.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place driver, Jackie Whaley, as Jackie comes home in position number 2 here this evening. As now we'll get ready to pull in our third place driver, the number 71 ride, Will Hargreaves. Will comes home in position number 3. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I got you, Aaron. How you doing?
Not too bad. Will, man, another solid run, another great race here for yourself as you're able to park the 71 ride back up here onto the podium, man. Take us back through it as obviously early on you jump up into position number 2. Then all of a sudden you find yourself going up and over the banking. You slide all the way back to 9th, and then here you are just slowly but surely navigating your way back through the field, taking your opportunities when they come. Obviously, we saw a lot of tight battling there with the 11 ride of Jaden Glenn, and I do believe it was the number 86 of Brian Wells. They were kind of duking it out. You were poking your nose right into that mix. Wells goes up off the banking. It opens up the door for you to pick up 2 extra spots. And then there on that restart, you're able to get around Jaden Glenn and the 101 of Jacob Sexton and steal a third place run here after what could have been a quick exit to this feature event.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it much better. I always got to find a way to screw up a good start, you know. I can't just take it and run with it. I even told myself just to be patient and don't be stupid, and I still ran it off the edge like that. But I guess overall it worked out for us. A lot of patience and just kind of riding, like you said, and tonight was great racing all the way around. I mean, one caution, and for a track that it was definitely, there was more than one groove, but there was definitely one groove to be in there for most of the majority of the race, and for all the field and the guys racing to show the patience they did and to race like that was excellent effort on everybody's part, and I know it puts on a good show for the people watching. Maybe not as good of a show as they want, like flips or anything like that, but no, we like it as drivers when it goes green for sure. So it was a hell of a night for us. Good race, and I guess I couldn't have asked for more after making a big mistake early.
Yeah, absolutely. That big mistake early on. We saw a few other drivers run into that issue, as that is the theme to a Lernerville race. It's more about when it's going to happen, not if it's going to happen, as we normally see at least a couple drivers go up and off that banking. Luckily enough for yourself, where it happened, you were able to get onto the binders quick enough, realizing that you were going over, that you didn't flip the car or didn't get drove up and into that corner 4 exit fence, and luckily enough, you were able to kind of migrate your way back onto the racetrack without giving up too many positions or having to get stopped or anything else out there on the speedway.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I lost enough spots, but I don't know if I went back to 8th or 10th or whatever it was there. But it's frustrating at first, but you just kind of got to settle right back in and start picking away and do what you can. And like I said, for us tonight, it worked out. We was able to get back up here and talk to you, and that's pretty good for us, especially as of late. It's tough racing. It's a tough field, and it's hard to make a podium. So, like I said, it's a good night for us and good points night for sure. We'll take it and we'll keep running with it. Keep some of these fast guys from hitting victory lane. Helps out a little bit as well. There's so many fast ones though. It's tough to do.
Definitely tough to do. It's definitely hard to keep them all out of the top spot or even just joining you here on the podium, each and every single week. But Will, so far on a good run here over the last couple weeks, and hopefully keep that rolling into week number 4 here of the series. But after tonight, a solid rebound and a great third place drive for you, man. Who would you like to thank for another great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, I want to say congrats to Dustin on his win. That was a hell of a drive out of him, and a really good run for Jackie and good run for Sexton as well. Good race to everybody, really. I got to thank you, Aaron, for doing a kick-ass broadcast as always. I got to give a big shout out to Viv for always watching and supporting and giving us the support that helps us keep going. And I know she likes to watch the broadcast and support the DWR guys and just everybody in general. So big thanks to her. I got to thank Jim for putting this league on and also inviting me into the DWR. Without them, I don't know if I'd be racing right now with just how the circumstances are and everything. But I really I owe it to them guys. They've been good with open arms, and I can't be more thankful for that. I don't know who else I got to thank. I'm kind of having a blank here, but thanks to everybody that supports the broadcast and keeps you going, Aaron. And we'll see you next week. I don't know if I'll make the podium, but I'm damn sure going to try, man.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing your effort and hope to see you back up here as well. Congrats on the third place drive here tonight, man. And we'll see you back out on the racetrack next week.
Appreciate you, man. We'll see you later.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, the 71 ride of William Hargreaves, as Hargreaves comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Some solid racing action right from the drop of the green flag right down to the checkered flag as these guys were duking it out door to door, lap after lap after lap. A lot of very tight nose, close racing, and it comes right down to another late race restart where we got 4 laps left to go, and for Dustin Hannigan, he's able to just find his groove, keep his foot in that throttle, and keep all these drivers back there at bay as he finds himself away into the Lernerville Speedway victory lane. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately that will do it for us here this evening. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening, and we will see you guys back here in the next one as we'll be back here in the booth tomorrow night for the Hypershift Racing League. So make sure you guys tune into that one. Make sure you guys are back up in the grandstands saying hello to me. Hit the like button. Cheer on the drivers for a couple minutes. Watch the broadcast, as every single time that you guys watch, just tune in and enjoy some of the racing content on a nightly basis that we're live. Helps push the streams out more and more and more. Helps the growth continue and really helps out the channel pick up more algorithm and draw in more and more amazing fans in the stands. But we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here this evening, and we'll see you guys back here in the next one. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Snap fast gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the goal